The sound of the bailiff's voice slices through the murmurs. All rise. The whole courtroom rises. The air is thick, heavy. The silence of a kind that makes breathing itself sound criminal. Christine grips the side of the plaintiff's table, her knuckles white as bone. At her side, Janelle remains serene, though her foot taps the floor beneath the table, a staccato drumbeat of anxiety. Meri is several feet down, removed, her eyes stuck in a place between regret and incredulity. Behind them, Kody Brown adjusts his tie. His new lawyer leans forward, saying something quietly, but he doesn't hear it. He looks over at Robyn, the only one still gazing over at him like he's the man she once thought she believed in. The others? They can't even bear to look at him. Judge Harper, whose sharp tongue is only outdone by her sharper patience, sits. "Be seated," she instructs, and the Brown versus Brown trial is underway. The case is meant to be about money, division of property, joint businesses, the tangled financial underpinnings of a plural marriage coming apart. But everybody in the room understands this is not about dollars. It's about fidelity, about vows that were broken long before there was paperwork. And secretly, each of them knows, no matter what the judge rules, somebody's heart is going to be broken in public. Christine goes up first. Her attorney, a woman named Evans, walks her through the introduction questions gently. "Mrs. Brown," she starts, "how long were you and Mr. Brown married?" Christine breathes. "More than 25 years," she answers, her voice shaking but strong enough to fill the room. "We created a family, a community, or at least that's what I believed," Evans nods. "And when did you first realize that community start to disintegrate?" Christine's gaze darts to Kody. For an instant she pauses, as if to speak the words out loud will make them so again. "The day he said love had to be earned, not given." A collective gasp waves through the gallery. Even the judge's brow lifts. Evans presses on. "Mrs. Brown, what do you hope to gain today?" Christine stands up straighter. "I want fairness. I gave my life to this family. I helped build every house, raised every kid, supported every aspiration. Now I just want what's rightfully mine. And the truth. The truth." That one word hangs in the room like a cloud of storm. As Kody's lawyer takes his stand for cross-examination, the mood shifts. "Mrs. Brown," he says calmly, "you're saying this is about fairness, but isn't the fact that you voluntarily left?" Christine's lips press together. "I left because I had to, because remaining meant losing myself." Kody finally looks up, a flash of anger crossing his face. His hand clenches on the table. "That's not true," he growls, just loud enough for the microphone to pick up. The judge warns, "Mr. Brown, you'll have your turn. But the damage is done." The room feels electric now, alive with tension. Cameras from the network covering the trial zoom in. Every twitch, every breath is recorded. The world that once adored their family now watches their destruction, frame by frame. Evans thanks the judge and sits. Christine takes her seat, walking by Kody close enough to catch a whiff of the cologne she purchased for his birthday. He doesn't glance at her. She doesn't require him to. That silence speaks volumes. Then Janelle goes on the stand. Her tranquil demeanor is in contrast to Christine's intense candor. But underlying her calm, anguish bubbles. "Mrs. Janelle Brown," Evans asks, "you've been referred to as a mediator within this family. Did you attempt to forestall this blow-up?" Janelle nods. "Years. I tried to reconcile, to remind everyone that love isn't a contest. But you can't mediate someone who's already decided where they stand." "Who decided?" Evans asks. Janelle hesitates. Her gaze darts to Robyn. "You know." A low buzz ripples through the crowd. Robyn's face turns red, but she holds her chin up. The cross-examination is more biting now. Kody's lawyer accuses Janelle of taking Christine's side for selfish reasons. Janelle's tone becomes icy. "I didn't take anyone's side. I just stopped lying that we were still a family." The judge takes notes. Outside, thunder grows, a storm developing just in time. Inside, the air is thick with tension. As Robyn's turn comes next, even the audience leans forward. She approaches the stand slowly, dressed in dark blue, her face under control. Kody's gaze softens, the first time today that he's looked human. Evans smiles politely but wastes no time. Mrs. Robyn Brown, how would you characterize your relationship with the other wives prior to the split? Robyn sighs, strained. But I always tried to be peacebringer. I loved them, all of them. I still do. Yet you're sitting here today on your husband's side, Evans says. Is that love or loyalty? Robyn pauses. Sometimes they're the same thing. The judge's eyes are intent. The gallery holds breath. Evans leans forward. Did you and your husband ever talk about putting family assets completely in your names? Before or at the time of the separation? Robyn's lips part. We discussed financial planning, yes, but answer the question. Evans cuts in. Yes or no? Robyn's hands cramp in her lap. Yes, but it wasn't like that. The gallery explodes. The judge slams the gavel. Order! Kody's jaw clenches. He murmurs something to his lawyer. But Christine's lawyer smiles ever so slightly. That confession was the chink they'd been waiting for. Court closes for the day, and the wives collect their papers silently. Christine and Janelle exchange a fleeting glance. Not triumph, but relief that someone had finally spoken it. Meri remains in the room, looking at Kody as he walks out with Robyn. Doesn't go after anyone. Simply stands in the vacant room, not knowing her place anymore. The courtroom lights grow dark one at a time. The bailiff's footsteps sound. The tension doesn't dissipate. It just hangs around, following each space like smoke. Cameras flash outside. Reporters call out questions. Christine, what do you think about today's testimony? Robyn, are you covering for Kody? No one responds. Because some truths aren't for microphones. They're for the quiet times when you catch yourself thinking, your family isn't your family anymore. Christine gets into her car, slamming the door behind her. She gazes into the rearview mirror at the courthouse steps, where she finally confronted her past. Her phone vibrates with an incoming message from an unknown number. It says, "You think you know the truth, but you don't. Not yet." Her breath hitches. For a moment, she glances back toward the courthouse. The lights in Kody's attorney's office window go out. Pacing quickens here. Secrets start spilling out. Tension between the sister wives increases. And one secret truth could upend everything all at once. Scene to scene, tone shifts. Tense. Emotional quiet reflection explosion. And bold retention lines every 300 words. The second day of the trial is greeted by a gray sky. Rain trickles down the windows of the courthouse like slow tears. Appropriate, considering the burden within. The cameras are already in line outside before dawn, their blinking red lights like 100 unblinking eyes. Christine shows up first. She appears different today, serene but icier. Her testimony yesterday had unleashed something within her, but it also woke up a fear she has been attempting to bury for years, that Kody is not through yet. Inside, the courtroom hums with gossip. A rumor has begun. Somebody has fresh evidence. No one is certain who, but the air is so tense that the judge senses it when she walks into the courtroom. All rise. The voices ring out once more. The same tradition, the same hush, but everything seems different. Kody walks in with Robyn following him, their feet moving together, their gazes ahead. He doesn't glance at anyone else. He doesn't have to. He's made up his mind today is the day he strikes back. Judge Harper starts. Before we proceed, I've been apprised there is possibly some further papers filed by the defense. Mr. Brown's attorney. Kody's attorney stands, a sly grin on his face. Yes, Your Honor. New evidence regarding Mrs. Christine Brown's finances while a member of the family. Gasp spreads throughout the courtroom. Christine comes to a standstill. What are you saying? She exclaims. The attorney holds up a folder. Bank records, transfers, funds that appear to have vanished. The judge looks at Christine. Is this accurate? Christine's head shakes, her pulse pounding. No, that's not right. I don't know what he's saying. Kody sits back, arms folded, a look of satisfaction in his smirk. Perhaps you don't remember, he says under his breath, loud enough for her to hear. Her heart races. She recalls every aspect of their common life, every bill, every house payment, every child's want. No secret money, unless someone staged it that way. Mr. Schneider's lawyer insists on reviewing the documents. The judge allows a brief recess. Standing in the hallway, Christine's voice shakes as she addresses her lawyer. He's lying. I never transferred any money. Evans nods. Then we'll prove it. But Christine? She lowers her voice. Someone had to give him those documents. Someone close. Christine's eyes flicker toward the end of the hallway, where Janelle and Meri are quietly talking. Robyn stands farther away, whispering to Kody, could one of them have turned against her? When court resumes, the tension is unbearable. The defense presents the records. Pages of transactions supposedly tied to Christine's account. But Evans is quick. These aren't official statements, she argues. They're screenshots, unverified and likely fabricated. The judge nods. We'll hold on authentication. Continue. Evans stands up. Your Honor, we have proof that those alleged accounts were opened in Christine's name following the breakup. I want the court subpoena the origin of the account. Kody's face hardens. That wasn't part of his plan. The judge allows the motion. And voila. The firearm Kody attempted to use could blow up in his own face. Kody walks back and forth in the corridor during the midday break. Robyn trails behind him, her tone low but urgent. You shouldn't have done this, she says. He turns to her. She's making me out to be a monster. I had to strike back. Robyn's head shakes. Not like this. If those stories weren't genuine. They are real enough, Kody breaks in. That's all that matters. She fixes him then. Truly fixes him. And for the first time, she sees the man she once defended become someone she doesn't recognize. In the cafeteria, Janelle faces Christine. Their plates of uneaten food lie between them. I don't get it, Christine murmurs. He's turned everything around. The man I knew wouldn't do this. Janelle exhales. He's frightened, Christine. Frightened men make foolish decisions, and especially when the entire world is watching. Christine looks out the window at the rain. I just want it to be over. But deep inside her stomach she knows. It's far from over. Afternoon session. The court resumes. This time the judge asks Meri onto the witness stand. The room becomes quieter than ever. Meri moves slowly, her feet heavy. She has been quiet from day one, stuck in the middle. But today her evidence could determine who the court will believe. Evans starts. Mrs. Meri Brown, can you tell us about your part in the family finances? Meri's hands shake. I managed some of the accounts for the family business. Mainly logistics, expenses, household expenses. Did Christine ever move or conceal money? Meri pauses. No, she says eventually. She didn't. Kody's attorney stands up fast. Mrs. Brown, didn't you ever tell Mr. Brown that Christine was thinking about something when she walked out? Meri's eyes go wide. I said she was unhappy, that's all. Directly, please, the attorney presses. Meri looks at Christine, then Kody. Her voice shakes. I said things I shouldn't have. I was angry, lonely, but Christine never took a thing. The gallery whispers. Kody's jaw clenches again. Robyn drops her head. Even she can't look him in the eye now. When the judge adjourns, the wives don't stir. The gavel comes down, but everyone holds their breath. When the crowd is dispersing, Christine stands up, trembling but unashamed. She faces Meri. Their eyes meet for the first time in years. There's no forgiveness yet, but there's comprehension. Kody storms out, reporters in pursuit. Mr. Brown, comment on the fabricated evidence. He turns a deaf ear, red in the face, his demeanor crumbling. Inside, Robyn remains seated. Her attorney leans forward. You may want to distance yourself from this before it gets worse. She speaks in a whisper. It is already worse. When she finally gets up, she notices something on the ground by Kody's chair, a flash drive. She grabs it reflexively, her heart pounding. The label states, Family Records Private. Her breath hitches. She puts it into her purse blindly. That evening, at her hotel room, she plugs it into her laptop. There's just folders at first. Receipts, contracts, business documents. Then, a single video file. Untitled. She clicks it. The screen flickers to life, and Kody's voice fills the room. I can't let them win, he says in the recording. If they think I'll let them take everything, they're wrong. They'll regret crossing me. Robyn covers her mouth. Tears well up in her eyes. She hits pause. The silence afterwards is deafening. The episode cuts to Robyn gazing at the frozen picture of Kody on her laptop screen. The man she vowed to protect, now her worst fear. Her phone buzzes on the table. It's a text from an unknown number. Don't show anyone what you just saw. She shakes in her hands. The storm outside is now fiercer. Lightning illuminates her face, a reflection of the battle raging within. The following day, when she returns to the courtroom, she's no longer certain for which side she's been fighting. Morning creeps pale and apprehensive over Flagstaff. Courthouse rises over a washed-out horizon, cold, gray, and tall, as if even the walls are weary of hearing lies. In there, the atmosphere has changed now. Everyone can sense it. Something is coming. Christine enters first, her head held higher than it has been. She realizes she's not alone anymore in doubting Kody's honesty. Meri's statements had opened something up, and Robyn's silence yesterday had shouted louder than any protest. The reporters waiting outside are persistent, yelling her name, questioning her she cannot yet answer. Christine, does she believe Kody fabricated evidence? Are the sister wives turning against one another? She doesn't say a word. She simply walks. Because today, the battle isn't about what the world knows. It's about what she finally gets. The truth always comes at a price. Kody's exhausted inside. Not physically. He's too proud for that. But the fissures show. The angry tick in his jaw, the way his fingers click on the table. Too fast. Too abrupt. Robyn sits beside him, her face pale, her eyes fixed on the floor. She hasn't said a word to him since last night. Judge Harper enters. We'll resume testimony, she says. The court received new evidence overnight. Submitted anonymously. A ripple passes through the courtroom. Anonymous. That word alone sets off a dozen suspicions. Christine glances at her lawyer, eyebrows raised. Kody shifts uncomfortably. The judge goes on. The court received a digital file, an audio recording. Its origin is unknown, but both sides will have a chance to examine it. The clerk comes over to the bench carrying a USB drive. Robyn's breath hitches. She recognizes that drive. It's the one she discovered last night. Her heart goes into overdrive. She clutches the edge of her chair. Somebody distributed it. The judge signals to the technician. Play the file. The screen comes to life. The courtroom quiets. Kody's face appears on the screen. A confidential recording from his office. His voice is rough, bitter, trembling with contained fury. They believe that they can kill me, he says. Christine is going to try to make herself the victim, but I know some things about her. Things that can ruin her. If I have to lie in order to protect what is mine, I will. A gasp is torn from the gallery. Kody bangs his hands against the table. That's out of context, he yells. The judge bangs her gavel. Order! But it is too late. The damage is done. Christine's face pales, then flushes red. Years of silence fraying into something fierce and untamed. Evans rises, her voice firm but cutting. Your Honor, this recording clearly refutes Mr. Brown's previous allegations of good faith. We ask that his submitted evidence be reviewed immediately for authenticity. Kody's attorney attempts to protest, but his voice wavers under the judge's glare. The judge exhales. Objection overruled. Proceed. Robyn's fingers shake in her lap. She feels Kody's glare searing into her, but she doesn't glance up. She can't, because in her heart, she knows just who made that file and what it will cost her if Kody finds out. In the recess, the corridor rings with hushed tones. Janelle slips up to Robyn softly. Was it you? She whispers. Robyn pauses. I don't know what you're saying. Yes, you do, Janelle insists. That video, it didn't come out of thin air. Someone cared enough to get it right. Robyn's eyes brim. You don't get it. I was trying to prevent this from becoming even worse. Janelle leans to the side. Sometimes you need to break it all the way before you can repair it. Back in the courtroom, Christine steps up onto the stand once more. No victim this time, but an individual taking back her narrative. Evans starts gently. Mrs. Brown, how do you feel about the recording we've just heard? Christine's voice trembles but doesn't crack. I'm not surprised. I lived that man's anger for years. I figured silence was safer. I was wrong. She turns to Kody. You told me I was ungrateful, that I didn't respect you. But respect isn't fear, Kody. And love isn't control. The audience is transfixed. Even the judge takes a beat longer to scribble her notes. Kody can't sit still. He mutters something to his lawyer, who shakes his head helplessly. Then Kody stands. Your Honor, I'd like to address the court personally. The judge nods reluctantly. Briefly, Kody spins around to the room. This is a circus, he declares. You're getting pieces, distorting everything I've ever said. I built this family from scratch. I provided them with homes, stability, a future. And now they're standing here acting as if I'm some kind of villain. Christine doesn't flinch. You established a kingdom for yourself, not a home for us. The quiet following her words stings more than any yell. Robyn drops her head, tears streaming down her face. She recalls every vow he ever made to her, every instance she stood up for him even when she shouldn't have. And here, now, she can't help but wonder if she ever truly knew him at all. The judge finally speaks up, his voice firm. Mr. Brown, that is enough. Testimony will continue tomorrow. This court requires time to consider the new evidence. The gavel drops. Court adjourned. Christine takes a deep breath for what feels like the first time in years. She turns to Evans, who smiles weakly. You did good, she says. But this isn't finished. That video opened a door. We need to know who sent it, and what else they're hiding. As Christine packs her belongings, she catches Robyn's eye. Eyes cross for the instant of a heartbeat. Gratitude and shame flashing between them like lightning in the seconds before a storm. That evening, Robyn lies awake. The wind shakes her window, and her laptop remains open on the desk, the frozen picture of Kody's face on the screen. Her phone vibrates again, the same number, unknown. You weren't supposed to send that. Now fix it, her hands shake. She erases the text, but the fear stays. What if the person who sent it wasn't merely warning her, but monitoring her? Simultaneously, Kody resides alone in his hotel room, looking at his reflection in the mirror. He mutters under his breath, They think they've won. They don't know what I still have. He opens his briefcase and takes out another folder, one nobody else has looked at. Inside, a photograph. Christine and somebody else, a man, standing in front of a property office years earlier. A shadowy smile on her face. He looks at it as if it is evidence of something greater. His lips curl back into a thin, menacing smile. The storm outside intensifies. Somewhere in town, Robyn sits in isolation, caught between terror and reality. Christine remains awake, reliving Kody's words. And Meri, keeping vigil in front of the television, whispers to herself, He's going to burn it all down before he lets go. The scene ends in a slow zoom of Kody's hand tightening on the folder, the distant patter of rain with his hushed voice, undefined. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. The courtroom is chilly today. The air, which previously vibrated with hushed, wary whispers, now vibrates with a low, seething tension. The wooden benches groan as individuals shift uncomfortably, anticipating the storm that they all sense brewing. Christine stands at the witness stand, her hands flat on the gleaming surface. She appears serene on the surface, but her eyes, they speak differently, red-rimmed, heavy, haunted. Kody, meanwhile, appears like a man clinging by a thread. His jaw clamps down with each glance from Christine. He's not the authoritative patriarch he once was on television anymore. He appears cornered now, between pride and panic. The judge pushes her glasses up and instructs Christine to proceed with her testimony. The silence is oppressive. Christine breathes raggedly. Your Honor, I love that man. I gave him my youth, my loyalty, and my forgiveness. But love became something else. Control, manipulation, and fear. The courtroom gasps ripple through the room. Even Janelle stares in shock. She's heard bits and pieces of this before, but never in such poignant, devastating words. Robyn looks down, holding her tissue, her lips shaking. Christine goes on, her voice shaking but firm. When I left, I believed the pain would stop. But then, I found out he had been stashing money. Our money. And when I accused him, he claimed it was to protect the family. But whose family, Kody? Yours or ours? Kody's lawyer objects at once. Your Honor, that is emotional conjecture. not evidence-based testimony. But the judge raises her hand. Overruled. Go on, Mrs. Brown. Christine's eyes focus on Kody's. He stole everything from me, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. But what stung the worst wasn't the money. It was knowing he'd already decided on the most important. Her eyes flick over to Robyn. The tension is like smoke before an oncoming storm. Robyn is overcome with tears, whispering, "That's not true, Christine. You know that's not true." Christine turns to her slowly. Then why did he put everything in your name? Why was your house paid for, while mine was crumbling apart? The courtroom is filled with murmurs. Reporters are scribbling wildly. The judge thumps her gavel. Order! Order! Kody leaps out of his seat. That's enough. You don't know the whole story. You never did. Christine's voice turns cold. Then tell us, Kody. Tell us why you were not truthful. Tell us why the man who spoke of family unity was secretly plotting his flight. For the first time, Kody remains silent. His mouth opens, but nothing is said. The pause is held long enough to cause everyone discomfort. The judge requests a brief recess, knowing the emotional turmoil that is building. Cameras click as Christine descends from the witness stand. She breathes out, her frame shaking, released at last from the burden of words consigned to the depths. In the hallway outside the courtroom, Christine's attorney claps her on the shoulder. You did good. You stood your ground. Christine gives a weak nod. I just hope it was worth it. Inside, in the hallway, Robyn blocks Kody. Her eyes are frantic, her voice a whisper with a threat. You said she'd never know. You promised me. Kody rakes a hand through his hair. I didn't think she would. Don't lie to me. Robyn spits. Do you know how this appears? You told me it was all for the family, and now I'm the bad guy. He seizes her hand in desperation. Robyn, please, we'll make this right. We just need to stick together. She jerks her hand away. You said the same thing when Meri left, when Janelle left, when Christine left. Maybe you're the one everyone needs to be protected from. Her words hit him like a slap. He stands frozen as she walks away, tears streaking down her face. When court reconvenes, the anxiety is suffocating. The prosecution provides documents, bank transfers, emails, personal notes. Every piece of evidence slices deeper than the previous. The audience can almost sense Kody's empire collapsing one discovery at a time. Janelle is next. She steps onto the stand reluctantly, her face torn between allegiance and justice. Mrs. Brown, the lawyer starts, did you know anything about Kody's financial dealings at the time Christine described? Janelle swallows hard. Initially, no. But afterward, I noticed things weren't adding up. Big withdrawals. Disappeared records. When I brought it up to him, he said, "Stay out of it." The lawyer leans forward. And did you? Her voice cracks. For a time. Because that's what we were taught. To trust. To obey. To not question the man at the helm of the family. But now, in hindsight, I wish I had. Christine's eyes brim with tears as she sees her former sister-wife tell the truth. It isn't anger that she feels. It's vindication. Kody leans in to his lawyer, muttering something under his breath. But the harm is already done. The crowd can feel it. The courtroom becomes thick with the sound of muffled sobs. Even the judge appears to be moved. Robyn will not even look up, her hands balled around her tissue until it tears. The lawyer moves in closer to Janelle. In your opinion, Mrs. Brown, do you think Kody used his position to control the family? Janelle blinks, her lips shaking. I think. He thought he was doing the right thing. But sometimes good intentions conceal selfish hearts. That one sentence resonates like thunder. Kody's attorney attempts to object once more, but even he appears deflated. As the hearing comes to its close, Christine's attorney delivers one last word to the courtroom. This isn't about money or property. It's about years of silence, obedience, and emotional captivity masquerading as faith and family. The truth is messy, but today, it's finally being heard. The judge nods gravely. Court will adjourn until tomorrow morning. Everyone remains standing. Reporters hurry out. Christine, Janelle, and Robyn avoid eye contact with one another as they walk by. Kody hangs back, looking at the vacant witness stand. His reflection in the courtroom mirror appears older, smaller, defeated. Turning to go, Christine's voice holds him back, soft but slicing through the din. You can keep the money, Kody, but you already lost the family. He doesn't answer. Perhaps there is nothing more to say. The doors shut behind him, sounding like the last gavel fall of destiny. But no one knows yet that tomorrow's testimony will disclose something much more sinister. Something that will make today's revelation sound like murmurs before the storm. The last day of court starts with a gray sky, as if the sky itself is aware of what's to come. Rain patters against the courthouse windows, a gentle beat over the tempest roiling within. All the seats are taken. Reporters stand along the aisles. Cameras buzz softly. Everyone is aware. Today, it is over. Christine enters first, her chin high. Behind her, Janelle. Robyn arrives fashionably late, eyes red, her hand shaking as she grips her bag. And then Kody arrives, accompanied by his lawyer. He is thinner, defeated, but there is something in his gaze still on fire. Anger, or perhaps desperation. The judge sits, gavel banging once. Court is now in session. Christine's lawyer stands. Your Honor, before we go to closing statements, the prosecution would like to present one final piece of evidence. The audience murmurs. Even Kody appears bewildered. What evidence? His lawyer insists. Christine's lawyer holds aloft a flash drive. An audio tape. Found just last evening. It was recorded from a family counseling session in which Mr. Brown spoke of his intentions as to the family assets. The room is silent. Kody shifts restively. That's private. It was never intended to. The judge cuts him off. If it has evidence pertinent to this case, it will be heard. Christine can't breathe. She knows what is on that tape. She's heard some of it before, but not all of it. The tape begins to play. Kody's voice resonates in the courtroom. Calm, cold, calculated. If I put everything in Robyn's name, it's untouchable. None of the other wives, not even the courts. They'll believe it's hers, but we'll be in control together. The audio continues, his voice laced with arrogance. They'll forgive me in the end. They always do. Gasps ripple across the courtroom. Robyn's hand goes to her mouth, her eyes wide with shock. No, that's not what you said. Christine's tears fall unheard. It's confirmation, not only of manipulation, but of betrayal on the deepest level. Kody leaps to his feet, yelling, "That tape was taken out of context!" You don't understand, but the judge holds up her hand. Mr. Brown, sit down. When the recording finishes, the courtroom is motionless. For a moment, nobody says anything. Then Janelle rises from her gallery seat. Her tone is peaceful but infused with silent strength. You wanted control, Kody, but all it ever served to give you was isolation. Robyn starts crying hysterically. You told me it was for the family, Kody. You told me you were doing it for us. He turns to her, desperation seeping into his pride. I was. I thought if I held it all together. Christine interrupts him curtly. You didn't keep us together, Kody. You constructed a cage and labeled it a home. The words hang like a verdict before the verdict. The judge clears her throat. We've heard enough. As all sit back, the judge hands down her decree. On the evidence before it, this court rules in favor of Christine Brown. All the money transferred illegally shall be restored. Further, Mr. Kody Brown shall pay restitution for emotional distress and breach of fiduciary duty. A room full of gasps. Christine's eyes shut in relief, hands shaking. Janelle takes a deep breath, tears shining. Kody slumps in his chair, eyes empty. Robyn hides her face in her hands, muttering, How did it come to this? The judge's gavel comes down once more. Court is adjourned. The sound is final. The end of an agonizing book. Christine moves out into the gray light of day. Reporters surround her, calling out questions. "Christine, what do you think of the verdict?" "Do you have a message for Kody?" She stands there for a moment, rain falling softly on her face. Then she speaks softly. "I feel free. That's all I ever wanted. To be free." Later that night, as the rain still falls, Christine sits by herself in her car outside of the courthouse. The quiet is nearly serene. She thumbs through her phone, a text from Janelle. "We did it, together." She smiles weakly. For the first time in years, that word, "gether," becomes real again. Across town, in an empty hotel room, Kody gazes out the window. His face in the glass glows like a specter. Robyn is on the bed, still sobbing. He speaks softly to himself. "They'll understand one day. I did what I had to." Robyn doesn't respond. She faces away from him. Silence is in the room, heavier than the storm outside. Hours pass, and then a knock at the door. It's a delivery man. "Mr. Brown? Someone dropped this off for you." He opens the little package, a pile of photos. Old family photos. One of Christine smiling, with their kids in her arms. One of all the wives in one picture, from happier times. And atop them, a note in Christine's handwriting. "This was real once. Don't forget that." He slowly sits down, gazing at the photographs. For an instant, the stubborn, proud man we've known for all these years vanishes. A man who now knows what he's lost stands in his place. The screen goes black. Christine's voice, narration. "I used to think love was about staying even when it hurt. But now I know. It's about leaving before you lose yourself forever." The final shot fades in. A serene sunrise over Flagstaff, Arizona. Christine gets into her car, driving along a long, deserted road. A gentle smile spreads across her face. The storm has passed. As the music dissolves, a plain closing narration speaks. This isn't just a story about sister wives. It's about strength, survival, and the courage to choose yourself, even when it means standing alone. The screen goes black with one last call to action.